Heyo, this is Gabe at Security Baron, and today we're reviewing the Ring Stick-Up Cam Wired Edition. Let's get started. If you'd like to see a list of our favorite home security cameras, Google Security Baron Best Home Security Cameras. If you have a question about today's review, leave us a comment and I'll get back to you. Ring is really boasting a lot with the Ring Stick-Up Cam because it is indoor, outdoor, and has tremendous flexibility. So anything between -5 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit won't make this thing sweat at all. And you can place it on a ceiling, a wall, or even have it on a table and it'll still look fly. So before we jump into how well it meets these expectations, let's look at its design. Now, when looking at the design of the Ring Stick-Up Cam, I want to be just straight up and saying I'm pretty apathetic about the way it looks. I try to be considerate of all the things that it can do and have it not influence my thoughts about it too much. So, it doesn't really spark any necessary interest in me, or I don't look at it and say, oh, that's gorgeous. But I also don't think, it's particularly ugly or anything like that, especially considering all the things that it can do. Now, when looking at it, it's your typical black and white aesthetic, something we've seen with most of the security cameras here at Security Baron. But what I kind of do think is cool is this grill that basically houses the speaker. I think that looks pretty cool. I like the fact that there's this glossy black above that and a lens that is recessed, so it's not protruding. And just above that, you see the Ring logo. Now, the actual design of it is kind of like a demi-Coke can of sorts. It's a cylinder. You could probably, this is basically one serving of Coke for the record. This is about what they are thinking when they tell you how much calories are in a Coca-Cola can. So different than what we typically see in terms of a cylindrical design, but interesting nonetheless. Now, noting that the design is really a reflection of its flexibility, let's talk about what all it can do. Well, one, you can definitely move it and tilt in this direction. If I go this way, you note that there's lots of options in terms of rotation, and that's pretty interesting. Now, another element of this flexibility, or rather what contributes to it, is the way in which you can mount it. What's great is you can actually just take off this part, and note that there are various places to screw it in, and you can put that on a wall, a ceiling, anywhere, and that gives you a lot of flexibility beyond just what it's capable with this apparatus. Now, if I take this portion off, you'll note that I can actually see where I have set up my Ethernet cable if you kind of just want to eschew the Wi-Fi angle altogether, and where I put my power adapter in. Because this ultimately is the wired edition, and this cover just kind of serves to help you hide and protect that cable. So that's the design of the Ring Stick-Up Cam. Now let's put it through the Security Baron Necessary Features test. Here at Security Baron, we think that every home security camera should have stellar video quality, two-way audio, night vision, local and cloud storage, smart platform integration, artificial intelligence, convenience, and value. Not to state the obvious, but video quality is an important element of a home security camera and one of Security Baron's necessary features. The Ring Stick-Up Cam does really well. It has 1080p video and 150-degree field of view. So it's really capturing everything that's taking place in the room with tremendous clarity. So for that, we give it full marks. Two-way audio is a Security Baron necessary feature and one where the Ring Stick-Up Cam really excels. It does have two-way audio. You can talk to someone in a room if you need to help guide them for any particular purpose or scare away any potential intruders. And of course, you can hear them running away and hear their footsteps because you can listen to what's going on right back. It does have a microphone installed, and because of its two-way audio performance, we give the Ring Stick-Up Cam full marks. Night vision is a Security Baron necessary feature, and the Ring Stick-Up Cam does well here because it has infrared LED sensors, so it's really going to capture and note whatever's going on in a room, even at night, which is important because you want to be able to know what's going on regardless of what time of day someone enters your home. So when it comes to night vision on the Ring Stick-Up Cam, we give it full marks. Local and cloud storage are an important element of the Security Baron necessary features test, and unfortunately, the Ring Stick-Up Cam does not have any local storage. Now, of course, that means it does have to have cloud storage, and that's the case, but even that is not free. But I do want to make it clear that the Cloud storage for the Ring Stick-Up Cam is very affordable. You can get $3 a month or $30 annually for 60 days of cloud storage. So when it comes to local and cloud storage with the Ring Stick-Up Cam, we give it half marks. Smart platform integration is an important element of the Security Bearing Necessary Features test. The Ring Stick-Up Cam integrates with Amazon Alexa. Now there's no Google Assistant or Apple HomeKit, but you definitely can do everything you'd want with Amazon Alexa, Amazon Echo with your Stick-Up Cam. And so for that, we give it full marks for smart platform integration. An important necessary feature for security bearing is artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence generally speaks to things like pet detection versus human detection or facial recognition technology, and the Ring Stick-Up Cam does not have any of these capabilities. So when it comes to artificial intelligence and the Ring Stick-Up Cam, we give it no marks. Convenience is a security bearing necessary feature, and it's really important because it basically determines how much stress you're gonna have while setting up your home security camera. Now, the Ring Stick-Up Cam may not have been the easiest cam that we've ever set up, but it was darn close. In terms of setting it up with the mobile application, all I did was plug it in, I put it in front of the camera, it registered it, and voila, it was all ready to go, installed into the mobile application, and I was immediately seeing my room directly on my phone. So when it comes to the security bearing necessary feature of convenience, we gotta give the Ring Stick-Up Cam full marks. Hold on, we wanted to ask a quick question about the Ring Stick-Up Cam. It is indoor and outdoor, and I was wondering where you were planning on placing it and which one you think is more important initially, an indoor camera or an outdoor camera for your home. Leave us a comment below. I'd like to see your thoughts. All right, let's get back to the video. The final security bearing necessary feature is value. And despite the fact that it's $179, we actually think that the Ring Stick-Up Cam is a pretty good value. If you think about the fact that it's both an indoor and outdoor camera, rated from -5 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and the fact that its flexibility with mounting allows it to be placed anywhere indoor and outdoors, we think it's a good deal. If you couple it with the fact that the cloud storage is only $3 per month or $30 a year for 60 days of cloud storage, it's a really good deal. And so for that, we give the Ring Stick-Up Cam full marks. Woo! All right, now we've gotten through that extensive security bearing necessary features test. There are a few other elements of the Ring Stick-Up Cam that I wanted to mention. One is right here beside me. This is the outdoor cable for the Ring Stick-Up Cam. It is pretty interesting in that it can be used both indoor and outdoor, and two sets of cables come depending on which way you want to use it. So this is the outdoor set because it is an indoor-outdoor camera. It can take basically any type of weather that you throw at it. Now, another thing is that we mentioned that it doesn't have artificial intelligence, but it does have custom motion zones. So if you'd like to have smarter notifications on your phone, spend less time going through insignificant messages, you can just be like, oh, okay, let's just draw this custom zone on the screen and it'll pay attention specifically to those places and whether or not motion exists there. And finally, it does have a siren, so it can actually make a loud noise, try to scare someone away, which is not something we see in a ton of cameras. Now, of course, a lot of cameras do have that two-way audio, so you can speak to someone, but an alarm can actually be a really effective deterrent. So those are things we wanted to mention that don't necessarily fit so neatly into our security bearing necessary features test. Now that we've talked about the features and extras on the Ring Stick-Up Cam, let's talk about how you will actually interface with those features, the Ring mobile application. And now in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, it honestly gets a pretty middle of the road rating, 3.3 in the Apple App Store and 3.4 in the Google Play Store. Now, most of the complaints about the Ring mobile application are that you get a barrage of notifications, which may be a function of the lack of AI and the fact that there can be a lot of lag time between the actual motion and when you're actually notified of that motion. Now, that could be reflective of that particular consumer's internet speed, but it's definitely something to note. However, now that we've seen how people feel about the mobile application in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, let's jump into our perspective. Now, the Ring Stick-Up Cam is a device that you use in conjunction with the entire Ring mobile application. Now, we've actually taken our Ring alarm system offline for the meantime, but you do note that at the top because it is a part of an entire ecosystem. Now, when you look at the Ring Stick-Up Cam, I'll go directly into the video there. It goes activating device, and here I am right here. Now, if I wanted to make that full screen, I could do so by tapping on the far right corner, and I can of course go back and look at the various videos in the past. And that's something I want to do, but I don't want to have that type of interference of microphone. Now, if you note right on the bottom, there's the microphone and the speaker option, so I can listen or talk directly to the camera. And below the video itself, it does say share. So if I wanted to share this video with someone, I could click there. And it says share this event now, recording is still in process because I'm currently recording this. So I'll dismiss this now. Below that full screen icon, you get the activate siren button, and this is not something that I actually want to go off. It can be very loud, and so I will hit cancel there. And in the upper right hand corner, you see that gear signal for settings. So I'm gonna go and tap on that upper right hand corner so we can look at the settings in the Ring Stick-Up Cam with the mobile application. Now, looking at the options in the settings for the Ring Stick-Up Cam, which we've named Band Stick-Up, you note that there's a siren option, this live view option. So if I were to click on that siren, it says activate siren, something I don't want to activate. I do not want that right now. Live view, and then from top to bottom, you'll see event history all the way down to Ring partners. Now, event history is pretty straightforward. I can click on that and just see all the things that have gone down with my Band Stick-Up Cam today. On the right of that, you see device health, and device health, you've got a network name, security Baron, and you can look at the signal strength and just make sure that your firmware is up to date, among other things. Now, the final one on that top level of options is link chimes. Link chimes basically lets you set up a chime that alerts you when you have a visitor, even if your phone is not there, which is not something you really worry about so much with the Ring Stick-Up Cam itself. And then you got motion snooze. Now this is important. If you have motion alerts set up, I actually snoozed them already because I didn't want to get any more alerts. Then I go to motion snooze, and I can snooze the motion alerts for like the next, let's say 15 minutes. So if I know someone's going to be in a room for 15 minutes, I can just say save, and they can go back and forth, and it's not going to be an issue for me in terms of getting notifications that they're moving around in that space. Now, the next thing right beside motion snooze are motion settings, which allows you to control the motion sensitivity. And of course, here you can also set up motion zones, which will help you to have fewer concerns about where it's picking up motion. So we see here, I'm setting up a motion zone so that it'll only pick up motion if it's inside of this zone. And then boom, I can save that. And now I've set up a new motion zone. Another important element when it comes to motion settings is motion schedule. So if you know you're going to be home, as I've set up here, on Mondays between 6 and midnight, and you don't want it to go off incessantly, you just set that up. You can add a new rule. Like if I know I'm home, let's say from 7 a.m. to noon on Saturday, I can set that right there. So now I have a couple of rules, and my phone will know to not send me motion alerts during those periods because I am home in that room. Now, what's interesting here is you can actually set your app alert tones, and it's basically a lot of holiday related songs. Jingle bells, Silent Night, I Have a Little Dreidel. These are pretty interesting sounds. You can even have dogs for your app alert tones. Now, the final two options are shared users, which allow me to give other people access to the Ring alarm system and the Band Stick-Up Cam, and the Ring partners, which allow you to add various partners to your Ring system. But as it pertains to the Ring Stick-Up Cam, I've now gone back to our initial page of just the live stream, and this is what you have in our perspective and our impression of the Ring Stick-Up Cam and the mobile application. Here we are checking out the video quality on the Ring Stick-Up Cam. Now, if you note here, it's got a pretty nice 150-degree field of view and that 1080p. Now, I do want to note that there's a weird like fish eye kind of angle with this, and you kind of get that lens vignette with the Ring Stick-Up Cam, and this could be a little bit distracting, depends on your own preferences, but it's something to note and something that you'll see right now in this video. But in terms of seeing things, it's doing well. We can give it the old globe test. Go see how things are going there. What we got? All right, Africa, okay, I see you a little, South America. Look, that's Pangea. If you guys remember Pangea, these two places were connected together. And that's a perfect shot for you to understand how that went down, because they just fit right into one another like a hand in glove. But I digress. This is the Ring stick-up cam, and it's got really solid zoom, 150-degree field of view, and that 1080p clarity. All right, here we are checking out the night vision on the Ring stick-up cam. It's got 4 infrared LEDs. Okay, I know I'm putting up 8 fingers, but it's got 4 infrared LEDs to really give you that solid night vision. You know, you can see what's going on. Got some pretty solid contrast. We can give it the old globe test. And boom, there you are. Africa once again. Wow, what a solid, large continent. And those are our thoughts on the night vision. It's got exactly what we want, that infrared LED. There's a little blue light that kind of is a bit distracting, but otherwise it's a solid night vision camera. And those are our thoughts on the Ring stick-up cam. So now let's do a recap of how the Ring stick-up cam fared on the Security Baron Necessary Features test. Video quality, full marks. The Ring stick-up cam comes with a really solid 1080p video clarity and 150-degree field of view for its camera to ensure that you catch everything that's going on in any particular space. Two-way audio, full marks. The Ring stick-up cam comes with a really solid speaker and microphone so that you can have a conversation with whoever is in a particular room. Night vision, full marks. The Ring stick-up cam comes with infrared LED sensors that really allow you to capture what's happening in the dark. Local and cloud storage, half marks. The Ring does not come with any local storage, but it does come with the cloud storage that is remarkably affordable. Smart platform integration, full marks. The Ring stick-up cam fully integrates with Amazon Alexa. Artificial intelligence, 0 marks. The Ring stick-up cam does not come with any artificial intelligence capabilities. Convenience, full marks. The Ring stick-up cam is really easy to set up, and I had it going in less than 5 minutes. Value, full marks. The Ring stick-up cam is one of the more expensive cameras out on the market, but it definitely comes with the feature set that makes it worth it. All right, we've gone through a lot with the Ring stick-up cam, and I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Gabe, I just want to know, does this work for me? Is this going to work for my house, my family, what I need? And let's see if we can answer that question. Like, on the good side, you've got that full Amazon integration. You've got a 150-degree field of view coupled with 1080p. So you're going to capture everything in a room, indoor or outdoor, with just one camera. And that's really impressive. On the other side, what's going on with the lack of artificial intelligence? We're all expecting a camera now that can distinguish between our pets and ourselves so that we're not getting this barrage of notifications, something we saw in the reviews of its mobile app. So that is a concern that we have about the Ring. Now, in my personal opinion, the Ring stick-up cam is something I would get for sure if I'm already integrated into the Ring ecosystem. As a standalone camera, you know, I probably wouldn't go with the Ring, but if you have any other Ring item, I would definitely include it. So those are my thoughts on the Ring stick-up cam. So that's our review of the Ring stick-up cam. If you appreciated today's video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe at Security Baron. Be secure.